Hello guys, so we are going to continue the discussion with respect to our linear algebra topics. Already we have discussed about dot product. Now in this video we'll talk about one more very important application which is right now very much popular because generative AI field is specifically growing, right? And generative AI, right? I hope you have heard about generative AI. I hope you have heard about LLM models, So we are going to talk about this applications of with respect to vector database, okay? And specifically when we talk about a vector database, we basically design a RAG system. What exactly is a RAG system? RAG basically means retrieval augmented generation. Let's say that I have a huge PDF, okay? Or let's say I have a huge book, okay? So this is my book. Let's say this book is of 500 pages, My main aim is basically to create a chatbot, okay? So I really want to go ahead and create a chatbot. Now this chatbot functionality will be that whenever I ask any question from this particular book, it should be able to give me the answer, right? So how this entire application is basically built and why vectors are specifically important for this, we'll also try to understand with respect to that. So whenever we ask a question from this particular chatbot, it should be able to retrieve the information from this book and it should be able to give me the response. Let's say in this particular book, there is written that what is physics, okay? So the answer what is present over here with respect to what is physics, it should be able to give me this particular answer without me going through this particular book, okay? So entire work should be done by the chatbot. Now, in order to solve this problem, what we do is that we convert the entire text that is present inside this book into vectors, right? So all the sentences you'll be able to see, all the words will be converted this into vectors, okay? How do we convert this into vectors? There are multiple techniques like bag of words, TF-IDF, word to vec, there is embedding layer and many embedding techniques are specifically available right now. Even open source, even paid, right? Now, once we convert all this book's document into vectors, what we do in the next step is that we save this vectors inside this vector database. So let's say there's a vector database where all these vectors will be stored like how we store in our normal databases like MySQL or SQL Server, okay? Now, from the user side, what happens is that whenever we probably write any question, first of all, this particular query will get converted into a vector, okay? And the vector, how it will basically be converted, whatever techniques we have used for converting the text into vectors over here, the same technique will be used in order to convert this query into vector. So once this query is converted into a vector, the next step that you will be seeing over here is that we will take this vector and we will query the database. Now, once we query this particular database, internally in this particular database, there will be a cosine similarity search that will happen. Cosine similarity search. Now, in this cosine similarity search, a specific vector that is already available over here will be compared with this vector that we are querying from the query itself, right? This vector. And whatever matches, specifically, let's say out of all this vector, one of the vector was matching somewhere around 90%, and this was the highest. So with respect to this particular query, this entire vector will get returned back, and this vector will again be converted into the text, and my information will be getting displayed over here. So if I write what is physics, first of all, it will get converted into a vector, and based on that particular vector, what will be the answer over here? It will go and search for that vector. It will do a similarity search between those vectors. And let's say if it is 90% similar or whatever similarity that we get with the highest score, that entire record or that entire set of vectors will be picked up, and in the response, it will be given back to our chatbot, which will convert that into the text and it will get displayed in front of us. And that is how your entire vector databases specifically work. Right now, most of the generative AI applications that we create, not only books, we can probably put videos, we can even put PDFs, we can put whatever things we really want over here, right? And just with the help of this vector similarity search, you can see that how powerful it is that without going through the book, I can actually go ahead and create my entire chatbot, right? So this is one of the very important applications that we recently or regularly use in the generative AI application. But at the end of the day, internally, it's all about vectors, right? So yes, this was one of the important applications with respect to the cosine similarity search. So yes, this was it. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you.